to establish a code of conduct for all SRC executives, both parliamentary and the Judicial Council. The second one also sticks to the Constitution. I think we are not paying attention to the Constitution. The Constitution says that all budgets or all parliamentary affairs, all budgets being approved, should be posted on the notice boards and other SRC platforms within 72 hours. And this is what we are not doing. That's what the students are seeing, that maybe there's no transparency. So we stick to the Constitution so that our budgets approved and all parliamentary proceedings will be posted on the notice board. And the last one is also declaration of all SRC assets. I think we are only paying attention to our dues, but the SRC have assets such as the hot and and our gym, which is bringing money to us, but nobody knows the amount of money it's bringing to us. So we first declare the assets and the amount of money it's bringing to us, and we account for that. And also regular open audits. So whoever spends money, we are going to audit regularly, and also it's open for student body to see whatever is going on. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a rebuttal, 60 seconds.
Thank you very much. So my dear brother mentioned that they will ensure that the audit committee scrutinizes budgets that are brought forth by the committee heads. I'd like to say that members of parliament are the ones that are in charge of that scrutinizing budget. So how exactly is it going to ensure or give the job of members of parliament to the audit committee? Because we know that audit committees are somehow like CIDs that make findings as to how the money was spent later on, and to ensure that no investment of funds happened. Did you please get me? Thank you.
Would you like to respond? 60 seconds.
Thank you very much. The scrutinization that Nathaniel spoke about can be ambiguous, and maybe he took another meaning to it. He's trying to say that the audit board, which is under the Finance and Appropriation Committee, are going to sit, and as you said, CIDs or BNI are going to watch how money was spent and track receipts for whatever we use money for. That is exactly what he's trying to say.
Okay, let us move on. Let's talk about mental health. What are your policies on mental health? Students are stressed. Students are smoking at the top of the accommodation. Students are going to the beach to shout, running mad, losing their minds. What are your policies regarding students' mental health and well-being that you seek to implement as SLC President, Team 9?
Thank you. So when you talk about students smoking the top of their back accommodation, I think I've never seen such situation. But it's all about stress. So that's why in my manifesto I made mention of entrepreneurship and soft skills training. So probably collaborating with sales personnel to help our students in CV writing, interview skills, business pitching, and all this to release stress as well. Yeah.
Please, audience, let's. I think. Oh, please, they can't hear you, so speaking to the mic.
Okay, so as I said, I'm going to collaborate with resource personnel. We know the school secretary is there, so we have a counselor today to collaborate with them, to talk to the student body on menstrual health, or give them to talk to the student body on mental health.
Audience, please.
Mental health.
Audience, please.
Mental health, and then give them some knowledge on how to release stress or how to handle those issues.
Thank you, Team Mesa.
The first one is, I want to declare here, I don't know that the students are smoking on top of the accommodation, but if that's what's happening, it's very bad. So the first one is in collaboration with the narcotic board, so that they come and educate students on the use of drugs and the effect of drugs. And also the second one is we have programs and guidance from the council. I think that's something that we are forgetting. The counselor, we forget that the school has even have a counselor. People hardly go to them. So if you are involving the counselor, maybe end of every 2 weeks, and this is not working, we form the SRC counseling board, because the students tend to listen to their peers, sometimes even more than those in higher authority. So we make sure that we form the SRC counseling board, with students who are matured to be able to talk to them. Thank you.
Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much for the question. Aside utilizing the work of the counselor, in our policy we stated earlier that we would want to turn the gym, the current gym, into a recreational center where students would spend time over there to unwind and then relax. In the sense that the time that they are supposed to be going up there to go and then do all of that, to smoke and all of that, they will use these times to have fun and then play some games to engage them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Team Misa, you start this section. Let's talk about academics. Whether we like it or not, students are in school to study. In recent times, there has been issues with examination malpractices, etc. Currently, we have a very, in quotes, fast-paced special receipts period where, like recently, a timetable was out on Monday, exams were starting on Tuesday, etc. How are you going to use your position to advocate for some of these changes? And additionally, how do you ensure academic resources are accessible to all students? Everybody answers, and then I have a follow-up for everybody.
Okay, so the issue related to academics and also examination malpractice, I think I like the word that the chairman used, that advocate. We also advocate for the SRC to be part of the academic board. Without the SR being part of the academic board, any decision that we take within the SRC, it won't work. So the first thing is to make sure that the SRC is part of the academic board. The second one is within SRC examination malpractices. It's mostly, sorry to say this on record, it mostly don't come from the students, because sometimes you see that students are having the detailed questions. So we look at the source of where the question is coming from. So we put others such as the lecturers too, because they are also, if you have to stop examination malpractices, they have to be also involved. We don't need to focus only on the student body. And also the student has also provided most things to stop the examination malpractices, such as the camera and also strict invigilation. I think for this, they should be able to solve this issue. If they are not able to solve this issue, I think we are supposed to be added to the academic goal so that we show them how to, or we collaborate with them with how to solve this issue. So we first go to where the problem is coming from. That's the first one. And with the academic access, I think when it comes to the library, we first put pressure on management to renovate the library that they said they are renovating there, or to build the library, because it's not enough for us, and other platforms. Thank you.
Time. On a much lighter note, we will stop giving you areas. We'll stop. We'll give areas again. Team Wi-Fi, let's go.
Thank you very much. So, as stated in our manifesto, we aim to promote the peer-to-peer tutorials. Now, the main reason why we are doing this, as we stated, is that we are not going to wait for students to have receipts or supplementary. Instead, we are going to equip students with their own peers. Okay, they are going to have that confidence and zeal to go write the exams without having the sense of sending in any foreign materials. Also, they are going to use the SRC communication channels to advocate or to loud the noise about examination malpractice, its effect as well as the consequences. Lastly, the inclusion of the SRC executives on the academic council. Personally, I grew up on a university campus and I saw how some SRC executives, about 3 administrations, fought for their executives to be put on the academic council. Now, I believe that if we bring that advocation here, we are going to ensure or work hand in hand with management to ensure and come to common terms or common solutions as to how to curb this problem of examination malpractice. Thank you.
Team Nayo.
Okay, so on the issue of malpractice, our predecessors, since I came to this noble institution, I've seen flyers talking about examination malpractices and their consequences. So I think that the advertisement of more practice and its consequences is very needed. And also making it known to students that, or making it known to everyone that they will face penalties and actions must be taken immediately, not to be caught and to be bailed, but to be caught and to be dealt with. And with that, I'm sure it will put fear into students to try not to go into more practice. And also, talking about the academic board, is a very good initiative to add SRC to the academic board so that SRC can lay information about what the academic board wants to do to the student and to also put the student to their feet.
Thank you. So, Team Mr. You still start as a follow-up. So the second part of the question has to do with international students. We have some students that do not speak a lick of English, but they are supposed to take lectures in English. How do you intend to perhaps bridge the gap for these students to ease their academic journey? The reverse is we also have lecturers who are supposed to teach people who don't speak English and they also don't speak French. So what are your thoughts on this? What can be done to help this minority group?
Thank you. I'm very grateful for this question. I think I met the academic board, one of the members, and I told him this. If you are to go and do your masters in China, you are forced to learn the language for a year to be able to speak the language. But now academics has been turned into business. So the people managing the aspect tend not to care about the students, they only care about the money. Therefore, if anyone comes in, the person cannot speak English, the person should be enrolled in the school for 1 year or till the time the person can speak English. Then the person will come back to his level 100. Because we have lecturers who went to China to do their masters, who said that they used 3 years to learn the Chinese language before they sent them to the class to go and learn. So I think this is how we are supposed to do it. If anyone comes on board and the person cannot speak the English that is going to use to teach them, then they should enroll them into English classes either for a year or till the person can speak fluent English, then the person will come back to class. I think this is one of the solutions I can provide to that. Thank you.
Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much. So I would like to hit on the PPT, peer-to-peer tutorial or tutoring exercise. It's part of our plans to add English and then French sessions in this exercise, where we will have students who are not or who find it difficult to speak English or French languages. These students will be helped by their own peers because we believe that peer-to-peer tutoring is something that is very effective. In fact, in my class, for instance, it's something we started from first year, and it has really helped me personally and my entire class. So I believe that if this initiative is generalized, it's going to help us as a whole. Thank you very much.
Team Nayo.
Okay, so I think as SRs, organizing small or short extra classes for students who are not really good in English will really help. Motivating co or peer students who are really good in English to help their brothers who short for or who are not really good in English. It will really help us.
Alright, thank you. So we start Team Wi-Fi. So I'm reading again directly. How will you use your office and authority to ensure and instill discipline, which seems to be depleting over the years? How will you use your office and authority to ensure and instill discipline, which seems to be depleting over the years? I'd like you to focus on discipline in the SRC and its arms, because that's why we're here.
Thank you. So, time and time again, we keep saying that we are all under the Constitution. Referring to cadets, we are all under the rules and regulations of the cadet regiment. The DCC, that is the Disciplinary Committee Chairperson. The DCC is much in charge of discipline when it comes to the cadets. And we see day in, day out, people getting charged and stripped of their uniforms when they do something that is contrary to the rules and regulations. In the same way, when it comes to the general student body, or let's say non-cadets, ex-cadets, we refer it to the Constitution. The Judicial Council can take control. If we see that this problem is beyond us, what do we do as a student body? We engage management and we see the appropriate sanctions. That will be awarded to you. Let me use that word. Thank you.
Team Nayo.
Okay, so as I said earlier, I was strengthening the three arms of government as well. So my brother already mentioned students being the cadets or non-cadets facing sanctions from the Judicial Council, and if they can't take those actions or they're not able to solve those issues, I think the right channel to channel those issues is to the coordinator of student affairs, where he takes it from there. Thank you very much.
Team Misa.
So I would like my vice president to running me to answer this question, but before that, I would like to say something small. I think when it comes to discipline within the SRC, it starts from the executives before it comes to the student body.
Thank you very much. So in doing this, we will have to establish a code of conduct across the three arms of government. Thank you very much.
All right, Team Nayo, again, something from our students. The question itself has a premise, so I'm going to read the premise. It says, how can we talk about student welfare when students are locked out of facilities meant to build their skills? Now to the question. Do you agree that equal access is not a privilege? It's a right we must fight for. The premise. How can we talk about student welfare when students are locked out of facilities meant to build their skills? The question. Do you agree that equal access is not a privilege? It's a right we must fight for.
There's a question. The question is not clear.
I'll read the question one last time. It says, how can we talk about student welfare when students are locked out of facilities meant to build their skills? That's the premise. So the question, do you agree to the statement that equal access is not a privilege? It's a right we must fight for.
Talking about students, not getting access to certain facilities, maybe from some behaviors of students. The back accommodation boys club, management can decide to lock all the washrooms. This is because students use the washrooms and don't use them well. They don't follow washroom rules. So it can get to a point where management can say, oh, then we are not allowing any students to use these washrooms. This is because students don't use them properly. So it all comes back to students and SRC as well. We trying to educate students on how the usage of every facility on campus will also prevent management or prevent any authority from stopping students from using any facility.
Team Mesa.
I think if we talk about welfare, it's all about comfortability. The students having comfort to learn. So it's a right of the student body to have that comfort. Now we are going to push that to management. But before that, if you look at our agenda, MESA, that's Market Errand Service and Assistance, to provide comfort. You look at where Legon and other schools, they have all these things providing comfort for them. And you look at our manifesto in accommodation, we have already secured one accommodation. So there will be another alternative, which is going to push management to renovate this one. So if SRC has its own accommodation on its own, then it's going to push the management to do the back accommodation to renovate it. The second one is pushing the students away from not enough facilities. So when there is not enough facilities for us, like how we did to our summer hut, we ordered the student, nobody should go there until it is fixed. So we make sure the students unite so that we all agree on one policy and go by it. Thank you.
Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I think I would want to say that talking about welfare and then skills development, I believe it's something that we mentioned in our policy. or in our manifesto, and we want to balance that in the sense that in warfare, we mentioned the fact that we would want to renovate, or with engagement with management, we want to renovate some parts of the accommodations and some facilities on campus. And aside that, talking about skill development, we also spoke about bringing on board alumni institution, where this committee is going to be in charge of searching for outside of campus. Just so you know, the back accommodation can't be full. Although the renovation is going to take place and students would want to stay there, they are going to also ensure that the SRC is going to be in charge of getting accommodation outside for the students instead of the students themselves going out to search for it. Thank you.
So we'll delve into our final 4 questions and then we'll end the debate. So the first one has to do with for our students that stay off campus. So Team Misa, what do you think can be done to make them, 1, more secure, 2, more comfortable, and 3, still feel a part of what happens on campus? That is the question for our students off campus.
So first one, I would like to recommend the team on their initiative of having the hostel management team, so that they will regularly check up on those who are outside campus, to know their welfare, what they are going through, and also to feel inclusive on anything that is on campus. I think the one thing that they suffered from is paying the Wi-Fi dues or the internet dues, but not getting access to it because they stay off campus. So we are going to bring these telecos on board, the MTN and Vodafone, so that they will provide student SIM card for them. So that every month they have, if it's 5 gig, it's 5 gig a month or 10 gig a month. So that even them, if they are not on campus, they can get access to the internet dues that they are paying. So I think that's how we are going to go by it.
Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much for the question. So, in terms of security, in terms of securing these various hostels, like we mentioned earlier, we would want to set up a committee that will be responsible for that. And so, aside the committee session for our tenants or our students facing various hostels, we have had cases where students know how we are going to solve them. And so, including them as part of SRC programs. And that is why we mentioned that we want to expand our communication channels. Because I believe that most of the times, people that live outside campus do not hear of SRC activities. And so if we are able to improve on our communication channels, these people that wherever you are, even if you are outside the country, you would want to come for the program. Thank you very much.
Team 9.
Outside, to engage with students outside campus, to ask them or to have a dialogue with them to see the problems they face, and also the effective use of the PIC to make sure communication travel fast, to make sure every student outside campus gets access to information or get information or think about SLC. Let's take for instance programs on campus. I think information relating to the student body are being delayed. So if you have an effective PIC system, I think students are going to really get informed about programs on campus. And also with the SIM card initiative, I think I collaborated with my running mates here. We had a dialogue with Telecel. I think the president is not here. Can testify where we decided and had a dialogue where each student is going to be entitled to a SIM card. And also foreigners on campus, when it comes to Ghana, they find it very, very difficult to get access to SIM cards to us. So we've had interaction with Telecel and they are hoping to help us to us. Thank you very much.
We take a rebuttal. Team Wi-Fi, 60 seconds.
Thank you very much. So, I would like to ask, why don't we rather improve what we have here rather than going out for new things? Why do I say that? Students complain that the Wi-Fi does not reach all parts of the campuses, even in the regiment. Okay, why don't we ask these telcos or even talk to the IT department of the school. What is the problem? Why isn't the Wi-Fi reaching this point of campus, this particular building? Why isn't the Wi-Fi reaching here? Instead of going out to seek for SIM cards that are going to give out data. Thank you.
Response.
So my brother here, you are in an institution where the majority of the non-academic.
All right, thank you. Team Wi-Fi, let's take the final set of my questions and then we'll delve into a bonus round. So, the question is in two parts to everybody. I think that the SRC has enough funds. I say enough, like there's money. Which of your policies would you implement outright? That's the first part. Assuming that the student body is going to agree that for the academic year, do not use the dues for any other events, but dedicate the SRC dues to one particular project, what would you do? So a question in two parts. Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much for the question. And so, you know, our main policy talks about inclusivity, and inclusivity talks about it's something that surrounds, or it's talking about these same people or students on campus. And so we need to be concerned about their welfare as well. And so concerning their welfare, in our manifesto, we mentioned earlier that we want to renovate some of the accommodations and even the classrooms. So we believe that welfare is one of the key things that your room is very hot. We want to renovate the sports ones and put some as other vantage points on campus. And also, we are looking at the recreational policy that we talked about earlier. Like we mentioned, students that spend their time engaged in drug activities, or let me say drug addicts, this is an issue, or this is a very pressing issue, an issue that really disturbs. And so bringing board these recreational activities will take the time of these students where they will have the chance to use or utilize their time for other purposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Team Nairo.
So in the case where there are a lot of funds or a lot of money, in our policies or manifesto, we made mention of a point which was entrepreneurship, soft skills, and development. When we talk about soft skills, when there are a lot of money, you are going to come together with resource personnel to conduct or to bring about coding classes, also basic Excel and Microsoft Word. That students will take a period of time to have such classes to equip themselves for the global world. Also, we made mention of welfare scheme. When there are a lot of money, we are going to take upon ourselves to also assist students who, one way or the other, struggle in payment of their fees, or maybe they've paid their fees, but they are left with a little to write their exams. SRC can step in for them and assist them to do so.
Team Mesa.
So I made mention referring to the Shanghai Maritime University and other Singapore Maritime Universities, saying that if we have enough funds, in fact, our collaboration with the Eye on the Port to build a vessel for the school so that the engineers and the North-Cal students will also benefit. As it demands as a cadet to go on board, that will be one of the biggest things we will do. And the next one is our MESA. You know, in our MESA, we have getting shuttle for the student body, which you don't have the money now, so we propose the Pragia. So we would have gotten the bus for the students. Because today, we have logistics students who were supposed to go to the port, but buses were not available. So to get this for the student body. And also, the last thing is, if the student body says that we should suspend all activities and do one particular thing, I think when you come to the decision body, making body for the SRC, it's Parliament. So if it's channeled through Parliament and Parliament has said that, why not? We are for the students, we are not for our own selves. So we agree to what the students want and do it for them. Thank you.
All right. Ready? didn't see your hand. You did? Did he raise his hand? Did any of you see his hand up? I mean, even if I'm lying, they all can't be lying. Anyway, buddy, I want to answer something. Alright, 30 seconds.
Talking about the Pragya issue. In our community, there are some communities in Ghana which uses Pragya. But when you check Lungwa and its surroundings, I've never seen such before. Meaning the council hasn't approved it. Two, the municipal assembly maybe haven't approved it, or there's a reason why it hasn't been legalized in this town. So if you want to bring about such initiative, how are you going to go about it? And why would they allow a small school to operate or to legalize it?
I hear your time is up for the rebuttal, so kindly respond.
I think first to make clarity, in Nungwa we have Pragya working in Nungwa, so I don't know there is no Pragya working. Maybe you've not seen it, but there's Pragya working in Nungwa. And I made mention that we are getting shuttle for the student body. It's a bus. So that's the other alternative of it. And for it, we make an example that the area it go beyond. It doesn't go beyond the North Gate. So it draws students at the North Gate. And the best it can go from this gate is to Kanta. It can't go far. It's just from street to street for the student body. And within campus. So I'm surprised you're saying that it's
Thank you very much. Let us move on. We won't engage in a back and forth. We have places to be. So the last question is from the students. I'm going to try, and then there's a question here I'd like to ask, but the person should forgive me. I'll read it, but I won't allow the answers because it has been said over and over again, but I'll still read it. So it says, how can we excel academically when we are denied hands-on experiences with resources already available on campus? I believe that has been spoken on. Then why should we pay again for short courses just to access what should support our learning now? I will tie all of it together. So let's do this question instead, and then take the final segment. So let's talk about the minority groups on this campus. What are your plans for minority groups, i.e. women, i.e. foreigners, especially? And then there's a very specific question here. It says, do you have plans towards providing facilities for meals for the foreigner? Knowing how expensive it is purchasing meals from outside. And this is based on the fact that cooking is not allowed in the accommodation. So, speaking with the viewpoint of a foreigner, how can we ease that burden? They can't cook, they can't also eat our food. What could possibly be done? And then in answer, you might speak about the nightlife on RMU and how we might at least improve that atmosphere. So I think that is Team Nayo, right? Team Nayo.
So about the foreigners and their choice of meals. Gladly, there's a canteen or there's a cafeteria beside the administration. SRC can meet with the chef or the matron to talk to them about the choice of meal for the day, which will include the choices of foreigners. And this, I think, will solve their problem.
Team Mesa.
So how do we let them feel inclusive? In fact, that's why in our manifesto we said that we've already secured accommodation. So per this question asked, I think the first people to be let them get the access to that accommodation should be the foreigners because they are coming from far. So the foreigners should be given the first access to SRC, the SRC accommodation first. So when they get it, then we look at the other alternatives with the indigents because there are other alternatives for us if you are looking at their food. And if you are referring their food to the cadets, I think when you go to the cadet, there is a regular food that in Africa everybody eats it, which is rice, which is cooked daily at the cadet there. It's either they don't feel like eating it or not. So when it comes to their meals, we provide them with their own accommodation so that they can cook on their own. Yeah, thank you.
Team Wi-Fi.
Thank you very much for the question. So for minority groups, women and then foreigners specifically. For women, we mentioned earlier in our policies that we would want to include women in whatever we are going to be doing. And so we want to have women empowered in the sense that we will be including women or ladies in the various committees that we are going to have. So at least 2 ladies in every committee that we have. And so for foreigners, especially when it comes to matters of hostels, I've had an encounter with a mate where he was bullied by a landlord who took his money and did not give him the accommodation. And so I believe that setting up the hostel management committee would be able to solve some of these issues. And when it comes to matters of food, as part of our policies, we didn't have the chance of mentioning it, but I believe, like I said earlier, there's the chance to also make it known. And so we want to establish a nice food pantry where we want to speak with the various vendors on campus to extend their time of selling, such that because we won't be able to cook at the various accommodations, we will have the chance to buy food outside the campus, within the campus, because these people are going to be selling within the campus. And this is also help in security, because when they are going outside to buy some of these foods, they'll be faced with security issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the last segment. Each team has 4 minutes. In the 4 minutes, you can decide to do one of these 2 things. You can decide to, 1, choose one of your policies and speak extensively on, and then choose a policy of an opposing person and rebut it. Or speak on 2 of your policies that you want to stick with us. We'll start with Team Mesa. So I'll give you 1 minute to decide on what you're doing, and then you can talk. So a timer for 1 minute first, and then a 4 minutes. So you have 1 minute to think and agree before.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Okay, you can go ahead.
so we've decided not to do African politics, but to do international politics.
So you take 2.
We take our own.
You take 2 of yours, or you do 1.
We take 2 of our own.
Let's go, 4 minutes.
So we look at our biggest policy, which is the MESA, Market, Errand Service and Assistance, which we've explained in our manifesto. In our manifesto, we have the MESA, Market, which says that we are going to use our SRC platforms to assist those providing services and products on campus, those selling and those other services. So we are going to use our platform to market it for them, to sell it either outside campus or in campus. That's the market. And the errands is to provide errands for student body. So providing errands for the student body, we are going to get the motorcycles, which we introduce this year as a campus runner, which we have time for making orders and time for receiving orders. So we have a biker who will be riding it to bring our orders to us. So maybe if you order something from Circle, which costs on the app, on the boat app and the other apps, which is 50 cedis, the SRC will go for it for you at 25 cedis to able to cover our operational costs and also maintenance costs. That's why we are charging that. If not, we are not going to charge that. That's for the MESA, that's for the errand. The second one is getting the 2 shuttles. That will take students to the North Gate and also to counter students who stay within that stretch, to take them there at a very cheaper cost so that we can raise some funds for the SRC. And the service go beyond anything. The service is to open students with businesses. The first one is the abandoned room, which we have made inquiries on that we can use it. I want to state it clearly that we've made inquiries on that. The abandoned room, which we are going to use as a mini-mat at the accommodation. So the students who are at the accommodation, even at night, they can get access to all these stuffs. They don't have 24/7, so that they don't have to go outside campus as late at night. Some women find difficult to even track their menstrual period, so they may short these sanitary pads. So in case there is a shortage of that, they can just go to the accommodation there. You don't have to go outside, you just go to the accommodation there and afford it. That's the service, one of the services. The second part of the service is also getting the mobile money shops around campus. The first one is around the cadet accommodation there, and then the last one is at the transport department. Though we are in a digital world, but some of the people on campus here, they don't accept Momo. They only accept physical cash, so that the SRC can also generate some funds for itself. And the last one is the assistance, to provide assistance for accommodation and other security aspects. So for the accommodation, which I've already said it, we've secured it and it's going to be registered under the SRC. So it's going to be for the SRC's own. So that's the MESA I'm talking about, so that all students will benefit from it. The last one is our educational policy, which I'm going to talk about it. Our education, so I've talked about the first one. The second one is educational policy. So we look at the academics. The first one is where the Master President put it to us that the course that we are offering is not accredited, so we make sure we push for the accreditation of the course. The second one is also the public speaking courses for the student body, and also finances and finance courses to give students knowledge in finance and how to manage their finances, and the assistance in Excel and Microsoft Word. Because we said it earlier that we have students that we send to GMPC, which they feel. And Mr. Harry Johnson, him being the chairman here, I've reached out to him. So when I reached out to you, he told me, are you sure it's not political? I said, then after voting, then I'll approach you with that kind of this thing, because I don't want to make it political, so that students will benefit from it. So these are some of the things that we are pushing for. And the last one is that scholarship for student body. I think when you go to the engineering aspect of the school, they have a lot of scholarships.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Team Wi-Fi, which way are you going? 2 policies or 1? 2 policies. Let's go, 4 minutes.
Thank you very much. So first they are going to work on the improving welfare on campus. That is mainly by the hostels management system. They are going to create new constituencies, maybe Graceland constituency. They are going to have the area around White Hostel constituency. They are going to have the part which is at the Gambia House constituency. Now these constituencies are going to have members of parliament. These are reps that are going to be represent their constituency in parliament. It's done in other schools like KNST. We have where the outside hostels are, as just like the way we have the hall reps, we have the same way the constituencies who are representing parliament. They are going to be giving reports to the SRC president. They are going to be searching for hostels for students. They are going to tabulate those hostels in such a way that you have the name of the hostel, the contact, the available amenities, whether it's 1 in a room, 2 in a room, and the price as well. Also, coming to the mentorship program, we are going to engage alumni very seriously. So I personally had some talk with 2 of the alumni. They're fresh alumni, okay, I think 3 years. They completed 3 years ago. And their main, they advised us that we should have a program where all alumni are going to connect. So I thought of it with my my incoming president here, and we thought of the Come Back Home initiative, where we are going to engage all alumni that are on sea, that are around to come. They are going to have, if not a day, a week-long program that they are going to feel like they are back on campus, like normal students, okay? We are going to work with them to mentor us. They are going to give us, if possible, raise funds for us and all that. So I'll pass it to my president to continue with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you realize everything about our policy is much more concerned about welfare and academics. And so my brother has spoken about the welfare part, and I want to take the academic aspect. So taking the academic aspects, he mentioned earlier that we want to have mentorship programs where we want to invite alumni on campus. And so like he said earlier, we want to engage with them such that they will share their experiences with us. And so while they share their experiences with us, we also learn from them and then get equipped before we enter those disciplines. And aside that, we mentioned earlier that we want to secure internship and NSS slots for students on campus. And so realize that day to day, the school signs MOUs with a lot of companies that we do not hear about. And so I believe that if we're able to let management know so that we bring these companies on board, such that our students will have the chance to have internships and then NSS slots in such companies. I'm saying this in the sense that I never knew that Sunon Asogli was a company where marine engineers can have internships and even job opportunities until I was following the school on their website. So I believe that if we are able to bring them on board, a lot of them, if we are able to bring them on board, we have the chance to have these opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Team Nayo, which way are you going? 2 policies or manage? 2 policies. Okay.
So as stated in our manifesto is centered on 5 main core agendas. And I'm going to talk about the entrepreneurship, soft skills and soft skill development. When we talk about the entrepreneurship, we are going to organize pitching competitions where winners will be given grants, and these grants they are going to add up to their business and to expand them. Also, talking about the soft skills and development, we are in an era where we don't wear tie, take your file with your CV and start looking for jobs. We have LinkedIn, and with these soft skills and development, we are going to have resource persons who are going to come together or who are going to come and going to teach students on how to use LinkedIn and use them effectively, so that maybe while they are in school or they are completion or graduation, they can get job or can get access to jobs very easily. Also, with CV writing, most of us here are not really equipped on how we should write our CVs. We need resource persons to come on board to teach us on how we can master our CV and how our CV can attract companies to employ us. In my class last week, Hafnia came around asking us to submit our CVs to them so that they can process employment for us. Most of my classmates didn't have CV or didn't have the standard CV. They had to pay people to teach them or to do it for them. But SRC or our SRC is going to take upon ourselves to bring upon resource persons to teach students on how to write their CV and how to master them. I'll leave it to my senior man to continue the rest.
Thank you very much. I think he has said a lot, and I'm going to take the student welfare scheme. So this is a dedicated fund to assist students in paying their fees. This is not just going to be this fund is not going to just depend on the SLC dues, but it's going to be open for contribution by industry players, alumni, and other stakeholders who are interested to as well. And also to assist departmental heads to be able to get some amenities like fans, curtains, extension boards, and other materials as well. So, and when it comes to the menstrual health and hygiene, I think most of you here who are following the media can see that I have started to embark on a journey where I've donated some sanitary pads to ladies on campus to be able to improve menstrual health and hygiene on campus. This initiative is not just about campaigning, but just to make sure that ladies on campus are included in SLC and also to help improve on their menstrual health and hygiene on campus. Thank you very much.
All right. I think I would still allow a period of choosing one policy and tearing it apart. Because that is how great minds behave. I do not believe you all agree on everything you've all said. So I'll start from Team Wi-Fi. Choose any of the teams at random, any of their policies. Tell us why it won't work and what you do better. Yes, 1 minute to think, and then 3 minutes for your comment. Then we are done. All right, Team Wi-Fi, let's go. Pass the microphone.
Thank you very much. So this question is to my very good brother here, Master Ibrahim. With regards to the shuttle policy, you can throw more light because I did not see.
Don't ask a question. Attack the policy. Tear it apart. Tell me how you solve it.
All right. So with the shuttle policy, I honestly do not think that is very much feasible. Why? Looking at the cost of even a private car, it is very costly, as you know. Let alone talk of a bus. That's number one. Number two, maintenance. Number three, the source of funding. Because honestly, you cannot tell me that you're going to use the little funds that we are receiving from management to purchase this, or even if you are able to get a sponsorship, or let's say someone out there randomly touches you the shuttle, you are going to use our very own funds, the little we have, to maintain it when it breaks down. Because as we know it now, although the dollar is coming down, it is still high. Markets have reduced. Car parts are very much expensive, let alone talk of a bus. So I do not see how feasible is to maintain the 2 or 3 buses that we already have. We can seek for sponsorship to get a new one, but then we will have to think of how to maintain it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Team Nairo, after you answer your concluding remarks.
My question also goes to former deputy speaker on his idea of bringing on board shuttle. When you have to bring shuttle on campus, meaning you are supposed to have shuttle stations. Talking about students who live off campus and are coming to campus, are you going to build shuttle stations outside campus? And which land, meaning are you going to buy a land, SRC is the land in these 4 corners? So if you are building a shuttle station outside campus, meaning you have to buy a land, and are you going to
cover maintenance and also operational costs? So as a transport student or someone from the transport department, I've been taught insurance 1 and insurance 2, that whenever you have all these things, you have to insure them. So you can have the first one, or you have the second or third one. Either you insure them against peril, or you insure them against your own self. So in terms of accidents, that's what happens. And also when it comes to buses, I first said that we propose for bus first, but because our money cannot cater for bus, we will advocate from the government to give us bus, because government has been giving buses to other SRCs when you go to the other schools. So we advocate, since we have my party in power, we are going to advocate for that. Now when it comes to the tricycle, even if you are going to have the tricycle, how are we going to do with it? And I made mention that it's an open business. And as it stands now, we have 2 weekend students who are ready to buy these shuttles for them to work on campus. So for the feasible of it, I think it's very, very feasible. It's because I didn't detail it, that's why we find it difficult to understand that. Now I go to my former finance and budget committee chair of the House and the former speaker. I think they said, are you going to get bus stations? I think this question, me and my brother in class 2 can answer these questions. Because when you look at stations, we have a bus station on campus. Where the bus, in fact the sports boy, whenever we are going somewhere, we have where the bus stops. We have our bus stops on campus. So it's very easy for us to announce to students that the moment you close from school, come to the DMX, which is the bus station here. Just come to the DMX. Come to the DMX and come and pick your shuttle. What is wrong with that? We are not going to buy any land anywhere. Thank you. I think with their policies, I would like to talk about their policies, but because all their policies are something that we've already seen on campus and it's already going on. So it's nothing new. There's nothing new on their policy. But what this former speaker said, that we can see that he is sharing the pad and the rest, not for only campaign. What prevented me from sharing whilst he was in power?
I love that.
You were a whole speaker for a whole year.
I love that.
And you are leaving power, wanting another power. So whenever they take the pad, there is a video that says that let Nayo lead. So it has been, if I'm going to make clarification, it should have been let your hygiene, health, or whatever be your problem. So they should have advertised for the hygiene instead of promoting and let Nayo lead. That shows that it's a campaign. So for them, I'm asking that, are they going to continue doing the sharing these parts every month when they come to power? And where are they getting the money from? So that's the question. So because there are policies, there's
So Team Nayo,
nothing heavy.
react to it. I'll give you a minute to react to it.
Thank you very much. So, regarding to the Central Bank initiatives, when I was a Speaker of Parliament, I tried my possible best fighting for such initiatives to happen. And behold,
Please, audience, please let's end on a very nice note.
lo and behold, after I resigned as the Speaker of Parliament,
Audience, please let's listen
starting
to
on this political journey or this presidential journey, I think those companies came in contact with me. Even the video saying let's Nairo, Yaz are seeing the video and then they are opening for collaboration with the SRC. So getting part or central part for ladies on campus to improve menstrual health and hygiene on campus is not going to be a problem. Since they have already opened up that they want to work with the SRC, I think it's not going to be a problem for have in our financial as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please let's give a round of applause to all our participants. So, by way of conclusion, I would just like to say all the best to you in advance and in all you're doing. Then, to whoever wins, I'd like to see some inclusivity, bring everybody on board, regardless of how it goes. I think we're all working for the betterment of the SRC. The SRC when I was here is not the same SRC today because times change, things evolve. And you're a generation that has leaders, so you don't take it for granted. Use all the minds you can have. Some people came, they left some good feedback. Some people have stayed as well. They've given some good feedback. We can involve everybody and then the SRC will go further. Personally, I look forward to working with whoever wins because of my basketball team. If you can fix the course for us, we'll be grateful. Very, very grateful. You saw the plan, eh? I saw the plan. Hopefully, bring it to life for us. Alright, and then the student body, please turn up to vote. Turn up to vote. It's important. In the last election, those who lost because people didn't come and vote. It's not like, even people came, they would have lost, but you know, they still lost because people didn't come to vote. So I don't know if I should beg you or I should plead with you. Please come and vote. It's your money that is being used to get the ballot sheets and everything. So if they bring it and then you don't vote, it tells us that in the future Ghana as a country are in trouble. Because then the day will come when nobody will go and vote and then we don't know what will happen. So thank you all for having me. I'll hand over the mic to Zoguns. I'll hand over the mic to Mr. Samuel Oguns and then we take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, let's give him a round of applause. Okay, so you guys can take your seats, but after the section, you need to wait for 1 or 2 discussions. That's the presidential aspirants and also the other aspirants. Okay, so please, this is a quick one. Whilst we are taking our leave, the various bottled waters that we drank, let's kindly take them and we should dump them in the bin as we leave. Let's kindly do that so that in the next time when we are requesting for the auditorium, they will release it to us. And also there are a few announcements. So our elections is coming on next week as being scheduled from Friday to Sunday. So Friday for regular students, and to continue, if some regular students are not able to vote, you can come and vote on Saturday and for weekends too. Then Sunday there will be the runoff. The runoff is surely going to happen because we have 3 aspirants contesting for the presidential candidate, so it's likely for a runoff to happen, which will be done on Sunday. And please, for voting, when you are coming to vote, kindly come along with your student ID. If you don't have a student ID, kindly come along with any ID card that bears your name and your picture on it. That is valid. You can come along with it, whether your Ghana card, passport or other ID cards that bears your name and your picture with it. So the voting will be done at the summer hut. So also, I think Danny illustrated how to vote. Hope you all know how to vote. Hope you all know how to vote. Okay, so basically, when you get to the polling station, you go through verification. That's, you give your, it will be divided into sections. It will be done at the summer hut. We have a part for level 100 and 200, a part for 300 and 400. So you just allocate where your year falls. You go there. If it's a queue, you join the queue. When it's reached on your turn, you hand over your ID card to the verification officer. He will go through the list and get to verify if you are truly a student with your ID card. After you are done, you will be, your palm will be indicated that you voted. Then you will be issued with a ballot sheet. So this is a, shall I say, a sample? No, I will not say a sample. So this is a prototype of how the ballot sheet is going to be. But this is not a final design. Actually, they've taken some things out. Now specify that this is truly coming from this. They've taken some things out. So this is how the ballot sheet is going to be. So when you take it, you go to the voting booth. So we have, this is for the presidential candidates. We have the 3 candidates here. So whoever you want, whether you want, you see their pictures and their name there. So whoever you want, you put your thumb on the voting part, that's the ink. Then you stamp it this way. Please hope you are all seeing it. This way. So you stamp it this way. After you are done, you fold it horizontally. Then you break it into 2, then you drop it into the ballot box. You are